Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be trying to finish our TBR in a week. So trying to finish our monthly TBR in 1 week. I have 2 books that I am working on. We're gonna try to do that for the month ends. I really have 5 days. I'm a 9 to 5 girly, which means that I don't have all day every day to read. So I'm gonna try my absolute best to get through these books, and we'll see how long it takes me, and I'll bring you guys along with me. Right now, I am reading Heartless by Elsie Silver, which was part of my January TBR list. And I'm on page 36, already loving her writing, like I mentioned. And then I'm also reading Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan, which I am about 20% in. I still don't know how I feel about this. I feel like when I first picked it up, I was really like enjoying it, and I was reading a lot in one sitting, but now I'm kind of getting bored here and there, and I keep putting it down. So I'm pretty much mood reading, going back and forth from those 2 books. This is the one that I'm feeling right now. I will keep you guys updated based on whatever else I'm reading, I guess. Alright guys, it is the next day. I've not done my hair, not done my makeup. I just woke up, and I'm getting ready for the gym. So I already got my outfit on, and I was honestly going to read a little before I go to the gym, but now that I'm ready, I feel like that'll feel like a little bit of a waste of time. Not that reading is a waste of time, but I'm getting ready and then I might lose my motivation. I am on Heartless and the Daughter of the Moon Goddess on my Kobo. I might just take Daughter of my Kobo to go do cardio because I'm just getting my steps in. I can technically read on my phone or on the Kobo. I just feel like I'm gonna be looking kind of extra just like on the treadmill. Like, am I just judging myself? It's like if I saw someone else doing it, I would be like, oh cool, she's a reader girly. But if I do it, I'm like, oh my god, they're staring at me. And honestly, I'm freaking loving Heartless. Just a little update, I'm on page 68, so this is right before chapter 9, I believe. Chapter 8, so I'm on chapter 7. I love how the chapters are like darker and have a guitar. So cute. But I love how small this book is, but I hate like reading and having to like I've been folding this book because it's so hard to get to like the words in the corner. I'm rambling, but I also have 1 credit in my Audible, so I'm trying to think like, what if I just download another audiobook? But I don't want to use my 1 and only credit for this month on a book that I own, like a physical copy of. I'm trying to think like, do I want to start another book? Because then I'd be in the middle of like 4 books. But like, there are no rules, but you know what I mean. And I do have a few that are downloaded already from like before. Like I have Red Rising, One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. I had another one, where did it go? Golden Sun, well that's after Red Rising. I have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, but I think that's fantasy. I don't know, I'm just not in the mood for those, so I don't think I'm gonna do an audiobook. Even though I feel like it would be so convenient because we're gonna be doing cardio with our headphones on. I'm just gonna finish getting ready for the gym. Okay, so I am now about to really get ready for the gym. But I just realized I haven't even explained what the Moon Goddess is about. Alright, so I'm on chapter 7, and I like how the author mentions like meditation because I meditate in real life, and it's just kind of cool how like she explains, like I'll tell you what I mean. So she says, calming your mind is a crucial skill that extends even beyond magic. You are impatient, rash, passionate in your endeavors. You more than anyone need to learn how to untether your mind from your feelings, steady your thoughts, and observe before you plunge ahead. When emotions cloud us, disaster follows. I haven't even explained what this book is about, but basically it's about, I'm gonna put her name on here because I don't want to butcher the main character's name. But she is on a quest to save her mom. Her mom is a prisoner in the moon. She's gonna have to go against like the strongest and most powerful immortals in the realm, which are the people that have her imprisoned. She always had magic within her because her father was a warrior of the sun or something. He was like a very powerful guy. Now she was born with powers, but her mom always tried suppressing them because she just wanted her to like not live the same life that she had to live, full of all that pain and etc. She would see like suns like the sun, or she would see the light in the dark when she would close her eyes. One day, since she didn't understand why her mom didn't want her to like experience that, she got closer to that light and she basically triggered the celestial empress to notice there was like another aura up in the moon with her mom. So she went up there and she's like, hey, like, you're not alone, we sense another aura. And her mom's like, no, just me, blah blah blah. And when they left, she's like, all right, you need to leave because they're gonna come back and they're gonna take you from me and this is gonna get bad. So she goes down, she leaves the moon, and now she ends up being like a servant. And then from servant she ends up being the, I don't know what terminology they use in the book, the story. It's kind of like partner for the prince, like a prince of another, the mansion that she's working for. She ends up realizing that that prince is actually the son of the celestial empress that has her mom imprisoned. So that's how far I am in the book. Like I said, I'm only on chapter 7, but I honestly am really enjoying it. And I was reading some reviews on Goodreads and I came across the author's message, and this is her debut novel, which is impressive because I can tell she put a lot of effort into the descriptions and she uses a lot of Chinese folklore. Like they mention different things and I'm like, okay, she really took her time, and I think it's a really well thought out story. The deeper I'm going into it now, because I had said that it was giving me like not a 5-star feel, and I still don't think it's giving me like 5-star right now, but I don't know, I feel like I'm getting more attached to it as I go. I might just read this while I'm getting my steps in on my phone at the gym. I just wanted to update you guys on Heartless. I think I'm going to focus on finishing Heartless over Daughter of the Moon Goddess because it is January 29th, so I only have like 3 days to finish reaching my TBR. This was in my TBR and Daughter of the Moon Goddess was not. So just for the sake of that, I'm gonna focus on this, and also because I'm like reading 10% of that book and 10% of this book when I can just focus on one and finish it sooner, which is why I dislike reading 2 books at the same time most of the time, but also stimulation does it for me. Right now I am on page 86 of Heartless, and I love how, I guess this is not really a spoiler because it's not like a big deal. If you don't want to hear, you can skip this part. But in the beginning of the book, Cade goes to a coffee shop and Willa is there and she drops her underwear. So now in every page, like when they separate like paragraphs or time frame or whatever, they have like a little underwear picture, and it's so funny. Like it's in like almost every, not almost every page, but it's like throughout the book, so it's just a cute little detail. But so far, enjoying this book. Cade is super grumpy, and I can't even remember his character from Flawless because it's been quite a while since I read that book. I read that last summer, but he is super grumpy, and Willa is like just kind of joking around about it, and she's just having a blast with it. Cade just found out that Willa has like no experience with babysitting, so he's like distraught because obviously she's babysitting his son. He's like overprotective. He wants to make sure that he's in good hands. I'm really not that far in, so I don't have too much to say. Like this book is pretty freaking long. It's almost 500 pages, 470 something. So I'm gonna be focusing on this every chance and break that I have, and I will keep you guys updated. Such a big grumpy guy, but now he's getting sweet and my heart cannot take it. I can't take it. He says, words and feelings I don't know what to do with anyway. Alright guys, if you have made it this far onto the video with my appearance the way it was before, I truly appreciate you, because I was just going through something. You know when you kind of get into like a little life slump and you just don't want to do your hair? And also I go to the gym like every day, so doing my hair is like very inconvenient sometimes. But we finally got a little presentable. Is that the word? I feel like this is not focusing. Is it focusing? I'm so blind, I can't tell. I wanted to give you guys an update. I have read quite a bit. I'm on chapter 29. I have also been listening to it on Audible because I have like a 25-30 minute drive to the gym every day. 30 minutes going, 30 minutes back home. It's just more convenient for me to have the audiobook also. That way I don't really waste any time and I can kind of get through the book quickly. So I have read like half of it and the other half I've been listening to audio. I'm kind of going back and forth. But so far I've kept thinking. I'm trying to think if I like Flawless better than Heartless or Heartless better than Flawless. And I still don't have an answer because I just feel like they're two different stories. You know what I mean? I like them both for different things. For whatever reason, oh, side note, if you like spice, then you'll like this book. But like me, I don't really care for spice. This book legit has like 4 full-blown chapters of just spice. So I've honestly skipped through that because to me it's just pointless. Like I can listen to an audiobook and it can have a little bit of spice, or I can read a little bit of it. But when it's like full-blown chapters, I'm just uninterested. Besides that, I love the banter between Cade and Willa, and I feel like that's something that Elsie Silver is so good at, like the banter. And I've honestly been giggling out loud. Like there are funny freaking scenes in this book, which I absolutely love. Again, all the Yellowstone vibes. So I have like 5 chapters left and I'll come back with my final review once I'm done. Finished, finally. The good news is we're finished. The bad news is it's January 31st. I have only today to finish the other book that I'm reading, which is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. But I want to quickly give my final Tatsumi looks so funny back there. I want to give my final review on this book. So I feel like my reading experience, like Elsie Silver's writing, that part of it, I would legit give it a 5 out of 5 because I just love her writing. I love the banter. She's funny. Her characters are funny. I found myself laughing and giggling, smiling, and I don't do that often with books. So that's a good sign. Now the actual storyline, the actual story, I would give 4 stars. And I feel like this book is cuter and sweeter and more heartwarming than Flawless, which was the first book. But for whatever reason, I feel like I was more invested into Flawless than Heartless. I don't know if it's because there's a kid in this book, which I love the kid in this book anyway, Luke, but sometimes I kind of lose interest a little bit for whatever reason when there's kids in books. Not that it's like a deal breaker for me, but I don't know. If you don't already know, this is age gap, single dad, nanny trope. She's 25, he's like 38, I think, or something like that. I ended up rating this 4 stars on Goodreads overall, and I'm pretty sure I rated Flawless like 4.5 or 4.75. Those times where I was like very invested in the book and interested and I was enjoying it. So sometimes I was kind of like dozing off because I feel like there was a lot of extra detail sometimes that I just kind of got distracted. That might just be a personal problem, but it is a little longer than Flawless. I believe this one's like almost 500 pages, 470 something. I just love the found family trope, or not found family, I guess. Part of it is found family, but they're all brothers, the Eaton brothers. Summer, which was the female main character in Flawless, and Willow, which is a female main character in this book, are friends. It was a good book, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is everyone's favorite book from the series. And I don't know if I can say that. Obviously, like granted, I've only read 2. This is the second one. It's like something extremely special for me. Again, I didn't love the fact that there were so many chapters of full-blown spice. That's just my personal preference. I know some people really enjoy it. Now let's move on to Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I'm going to try my absolute best to finish that today, but I'm only 30% through, so we'll see how that goes. We're back on our cozy corner like we never left. Now we are going to continue. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. And I'm so excited because I really feel like I am in the mood for fantasy lately. Like I'm just like right now I just finished Heartless. I enjoyed it. I'm just not in my romance mood. Like I'm just in my fantasy era through and through. And I have so much fantasy for February, so I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm at the part where she meets a captain. She doesn't get the best first impression of the captain, but now I'm putting two and two together because I watched a TikTok the other day that spoke about one of the tropes, which I'm not gonna say because I feel like it always spoils it. Now I'm putting two and two together. And I wish I could explain more about this book, but I feel like with fantasy, it's so hard for me to truly explain what's going on without getting confused because there's just so much going on. I love how... Okay, Xinyan. I love how she is so fierce and fiery. I feel like in a lot of books, they kind of don't describe the female character as... Like, they'll say when she gets upset or emotional. They don't make them so fiery. Like, in this book, Xinyan is super fiery and she gets upset and riled up so quickly. She first saw Captain... I'm not gonna butcher his name, but the captain I'm talking about, and I'll put his name on here. And she's like, okay, he's like rubbing me the wrong way. Like, I don't like how he's dismissive, and like, it's like a stream of consciousness. You're in her head and she's describing how she feels and she's straight to the point. It's so hard to explain what's going on in the book, but like as a reader, you know what's going on. It's just hard to like put it into words. But yeah, we're gonna read more. I feel like I'm reading this book a lot slower than I usually do because again, with fantasy, there's world building. There's not like the craziest world building here, but there are things that I need to like reread sometimes because I get kind of lost. Maybe I'm not as smart when it comes to fantasy, but yeah. I love how this author writes and structures her sentences. It says, "In the darkness of his pupils, I found a fragment of resemblance to his son. Though their opaque depths were devoid of warmth, he did not look particularly terrifying, but something about him turned my insides into ice." We have a lot to unpack. So I finally finished Daughter of the Moon Goddess and I read it on my Kobo, and look how cute. I got a new case. It's clear, which it might have been on the last clip when I was reading, but I can't wait to get stickers and be like these Kindle girlies that decorate it, because when I got the Kobo I was looking all over the place for a clear case and I couldn't find one, and finally Amazon has some, so I love that. But anyway, I finally finished Daughter of the Moon Goddess this weekend. It took me all freaking weekend. Oh, and wait, I haven't even broken the news. It's February 5th. So I definitely didn't finish this by the end of January, which was the entire point of this video. But I guess that shows you like a realistic week of reading in my life as a 9-to-5 girly. I did start another audiobook, so I am listening to that, which is One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. I did finish Daughter of the Moon Goddess, like I said, and this book, the story is so jam-packed, and this is a friends to lovers to enemies romantasy. I feel like it's YA because there's literally no spice at all, like at all, which I loved, and I don't think I've ever been so hooked and so just immersed in a world other than like ACOTAR. Wow, like I did not want to put my Kobo down. I did not want to put it down. I just wanted to keep reading. On Saturday, I literally read 5 hours straight. It was intense. I literally need to get blue light glasses because that was difficult for me. My eyes were so strained, but I just couldn't put it down. It was so good. And this book is so long. Also, I think the physical copy is like 505 pages, and on the Kobo it was like almost 800, if not 800. So I would just keep like turning the next page and it would never end. It would go up 1% after like an entire 20-page chapter. Nonetheless, this does have a love triangle trope. I loved the politics and the war in this story, and I feel like I usually don't. I typically just love the romance aspect of it, but with this book, the politics, the war, everything was so amazing. The Chinese folklore, there's like a 9-headed serpent. The magic world in this is amazing, and it's honestly so easy to understand. At first, I was like, wow, this is a lot to unpack, but once you go through the story and you keep reading, it becomes like so crystal clear, like so digestible. I freaking loved this book. Right now, I literally feel like I say this in like every 5-star read, but this is like one of my favorite books of all time in the fantasy realm. I don't know why more people are not talking about this. I don't know if this book was hyped up like last year and I hopped on the bandwagon like super late, but anybody and everybody needs to be reading this book because wow, and I can't wait to read the second one. I felt like I was in that world. The fact that there were dragons and there's like a spiritual essence and a spiritual like aspect to this book that I also really enjoyed. I don't know, it was such an amazing story. Overall, the main character is trying to free her mom. She's the daughter of the moon goddess, so she's trying to free her mom from the moon because her mom was imprisoned years ago by the celestial empress and emperor because she drank the elixir which made her immortal, and she wasn't supposed to. But she did that to protect like the main character, like to be able to give birth to her. The main character does the absolute most to become the best warrior in the celestial kingdom, and they have no idea who she really is. She never says what her identity is. She tells everyone her parents are dead. She always had the objective to just become the best warrior and ask the emperor for one wish, and she always knew that she was going to ask for her mom's freedom. So she's just so amazing. Like, it's just so cool, and she's like a strong female character, which I also loved and I also mentioned previously. Definitely recommend, and that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!